A year ago, I was exhausted, scattered, and convinced that that was just my new normal. But today, I feel like a completely different woman, and it is not because I overhauled my life. It came from 5 tiny habits, little daily choices that quietly rebuilt my strength, my energy, and the entire atmosphere of our home. If you want that same shift, keep watching because I'm going to walk you through the exact tiny habits that changed everything for me. And the first one revealed just how distracted I actually was and how much peace I was losing without even realizing it. The first habit that changed everything for me was incredibly small. I started paying attention to how often I reached for my phone, and I began choosing to stay present in the moment instead. So I started practicing the habit of presence. To support that, I built tiny pockets of quiet into our day. During homeschool, during one-on-one time, during meals, my phone goes on do not disturb so that it cannot pull me out of being in the moment. Eventually, I took this a step further. I removed the things that distracted me most because I was tired of the constant pull of a smartphone. I tested multiple ways of doing this over the years, flip phones, light phones, you name it, but for a variety of reasons, none of them worked long-term for our family. But then I found something that did work. We turned my Android into a dumb phone. So basically, no social media, no browser, just simple, minimal, distraction-free tool that made it a whole lot easier to practice the habit of presence. We filmed a full video showing how to do this for free, and I'll link it down below if you want to try it. But the real transformation wasn't deleting apps. It was choosing to prayerfully practice the daily habit of presence, doing whatever I needed to do to protect it and staying grounded in the life right in front of me instead of escaping to a screen. And if you want help building rhythms like this, simple ones that actually fit your home and help you be more present, I created a free masterclass that walks you through that step by step. You can grab that down below. As I became more present, I realized I wasn't just distracted, I was depleted. And that leads into the habit that rebuilt my strength from the inside out. The second habit began during a season when I felt physically and emotionally worn down. After our last baby, plus 3 miscarriages in a row before he was born, my body was very depleted and I just simply wasn't bouncing back. I felt weak, foggy, and honestly fragile. I kept hurting things without meaning to. So I made one tiny habit. Basically, exercise before prayer, and I'm going to tell you why. What I did was I would wake up a little earlier, I would get straight out of bed and walk right downstairs, turn on an open and go workout while I listened to a podcast just to make it more fun, and then I would just move my body very intentionally before I would allow myself to negotiate and change my mind. It was nothing long, it was nothing intense, just intentional, consistent movement before my day had a chance to take over. And here's the surprising part. This wasn't just about fitness. When you move your body, first thing, your dopamine and your cortisol rise in a really healthy way. You wake up faster, your focus sharpens, and your brain becomes alert and you're ready to seize the day, ready to engage, which actually meant something quite unexpected for me. My prayer time afterwards finally came alive again. Instead of sitting there groggy and half asleep, I felt awake and present and able to focus on my time with the Lord, even if it was a short time in the morning. It was like exercise unlocked a part of my brain that had felt like it had been offline for a really long time. Not to mention my mood stabilized throughout the day. I had more energy and I could show up for my kids physically, mentally, and spiritually in a way that I hadn't in a really long time. So one tiny habit transformed my mornings, and those transformed mornings reshaped my whole day. By the way, if we haven't met yet, my name is Lauren. I'm a homeschooling mom of 5, and here on this channel, I help homemakers very practically bring rhythm and rest into the heart of their home. If that sounds like something you need, go ahead and like, subscribe, and tap that notification bell so that you don't miss my weekly videos. So let's get back to it. As my strength slowly returned, I realized I needed something else too. Support from the inside out. When I started waking up earlier to move my body, I also began focusing on nourishment at the same time because, like I said, I desperately wanted to feel better. So those 2 habits, movement plus nourishment, worked together to pull me out of a fog I had been in for a really long time. My body had been, again, through so much, 4 pregnancies in a row, multiple miscarriages. So I really felt depleted, and I was depleted in a way that sleep couldn't fix. It showed up in everything, my mood, my patience, my clarity. I did not feel like myself. So habit number 3 became the habit of nourishment. And it came down to really 3 micro habits: supplements, protein plus fiber, and water. So micro habit number 1 was supplements. Each morning I took very high quality supplements that I have found, Neolife. I took those with breakfast and made a 1-minute protein shake that was really simple. It was nourishing me instead of me just immediately running on caffeine and fumes. Micro habit number 2 was to make sure I included protein and fiber in my diet intentionally. Throughout the day, I focused on getting 15 grams-ish of protein at least and fiber at each meal through nourishing foods, fruits, and vegetables, because honestly, those 2 things stabilize your blood sugar, which stabilizes energy, which stabilizes mood. And I don't know about you, but I think moms, we can just kind of get through the day and not really think about what we're putting in our bodies. So I had to be really intentional about this. So yeah, protein also keeps your blood sugar stable. It supports repair and muscle building, and fiber really slows down digestion. It's good for you for so many reasons, but it helps you also not spike your blood sugar and crash. Micro habit number 3 was water. I basically kept my Yeti with me and aimed to drink at least 3 of those a day, because most of us are dehydrated, and that alone can cause fatigue, headaches, irritability, and brain fog. So these weren't dramatic changes, just small and intentional and doable ones that I just stacked with my morning routine and throughout the day as I ate. And little by little, I kid you not, you guys, the fog lifted, my energy came back and steadied, and I feel stronger than I have felt in a really long time. I feel so much better and finally feel like myself again. But even before I fixed my energy or my phone habits, there's been one tiny habit that has kept me steady for years, actually, and it's one that gives me the most mental clarity. And that is the habit of using paper to plan. Using paper has always grounded me, especially when compared to trying to use some kind of technological device to keep everything in track. Whenever I try to manage life on a device, I very easily get distracted or sidetracked. But paper keeps my mind clear, it keeps me on track in a way that my phone never could. So I love using paper. And this tiny habit is simple. Every Sunday, I plan my week, and then every evening for just 2 minutes, I plan the next day. And that alone saves me so much time and energy, and it's really helpful. So it's nothing complicated, it's nothing aesthetic, it's just a notebook, it's practical, and it's intentional. Scientifically, writing by hand forces your brain to slow down, to prioritize and process and organize information. It lowers your mental load, it keeps you off your phone, and it gives your thoughts a place to land instead of swirling around in your head all day. Using paper, and specifically one notebook, helps me to see what actually matters, and it keeps me aligned with my values. It has been one of the most reliable anchors in my motherhood for years. I've refined it along the way, but I love paper. And this final habit might be the simplest, but it changed my mornings and subsequently my days more than I expected. And that is the habit of rest. During the same season, when I was rebuilding my strength and focusing on nourishment, I realized something really important. None of it would matter if I wasn't sleeping. I couldn't wake up early if I was staying up late the night before doing whatever because the house was quiet, because we all know what that's like, right? So the tiny habit was this: to be in bed before 9 p.m. Not asleep, just in bed. Lights low, conversations winding down, maybe a book in hand, but physically there and not somewhere else doing tasks or whatever. So to help myself actually do it, my husband, let's be honest, he did awesome. He's so good at keeping me on track, but he set an alarm on his phone for 8:45, and that was just a gentle cue to us both that said, okay, it's time to start moving towards bed. And that one tiny thing really did make all the difference, because the hardest part of sleep isn't sleeping. Well, at least for some of us. I know some people have insomnia and all that, but that's besides the point. It's hardest thing for a lot of moms is not sleeping, it's stopping, and it's choosing to get in bed. Sleep is a spiritual discipline as much as it is a physical one. When I slept, I woke up patient, more clear-headed, and ready to pray, think, and be present with my family. And when I didn't, everything felt a whole lot harder than it needed to be. So getting bed at 9 p.m. didn't make me perfect. I'm still a sinner and still have to repent and all of that, but it did restore me. God made us to need rest, and we need to say yes to that. And when I slept, it made every other habit in this video possible. That tiny shift Choosing rest quietly changed the tone of our entire home because mom was more rested. If you want help building simple rhythms like these in your own home, rhythms that bring real change to your life, don't forget about that free masterclass. I'll walk you through building rhythms like these step by step. You can grab that down below. If this video encouraged you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap that notification bell so that you don't miss my weekly videos. Thank you so much for being here today, and I'll see you in the next one.